And back to the banks, they weren't telling you to buy AI stocks in 2022 when it actually was the right time to buy them. No, they're telling you to buy them now when they're all overheated. Okay, deep breath. Now I'm the one that's getting overheated. I'll calm down a little. Because with all that being said, I don't want to be one of these guys that just presents one side of a story. A lot of this is just my opinion after all. So let me argue against myself so you get the full picture. Then you can decide if you agree with me or if you disagree. So the obvious risk is that I'm early by a long way. The last proper metals bear market ran for 4 years. 4 years of what you've just lived through, and we're not even a year into this one. Maybe it lasts longer than I expect, but remember what I said. I'm not buying gold to flip it next year. I'm happy to wait a decade. So even if I'm wrong, I don't care. The other risk is that the Fed actually means it. If inflation keeps running hot, who knows? Maybe Kevin Walsh isn't the Wish.com version of Paul Volcker. Maybe he's the second coming of Paul Volcker and he starts hiking rates. Maybe they reset the dollar or something. That way they don't have to pay off their debt and that allows them to hike rates in the meantime. Anything can happen. This world's crazy. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's not impossible. So we need to factor in that the Fed could hike interest rates significantly, which will keep gold down for a while. But in the end, gold always wins anyway, and I'm willing to wait, so I don't really care. Do you care? I don't care. Now, let me tell you where I actually think gold goes from here and what I'm doing about it. Short term, I think there's more pain coming possibly. And I wouldn't be surprised if gold goes down into the 3,000s, not to 3,000, into the 3,000s before this whole thing is finished. Maybe 3,500, maybe 3,700, who knows? But see, that's not a prediction, by the way, and that's not me saying wait for this number to buy gold. For my personal stack, I already own plenty of gold. I'll buy below 4,000 in tranches, and maybe 3,500 is where I'll buy most of it. If it never goes that low, no problems. I hold enough gold. You might be in a completely different situation to me, and for you, buying at 4,000 could be the bargain of a lifetime. That might be your position. So don't let my price be your price. And I'll tell you why, because long term, I think gold goes to $10,000 an ounce. I'm pretty convinced of it, because at some point the AI bubble has to pop, because every bubble in history has popped. At some point, the US government has to print an ungodly amount of money because they have no other choice. So over a long enough timeline, gold is going to go to $10,000 an ounce, in my personal opinion. Whether it turns around here from 4,000 or goes down to 3,500, 3,000, 2,500, even if it goes down to 1,000, the long-term trajectory is up to new highs. But for the dollar, the long-term trajectory is the same path it's been following since they took it off of the gold standard. Massive, massive debasement. Remember, a dollar saved in 1971 has lost around 87% of its value. And that is why I trade my dollars for gold. And honestly, that's what today's video is about. They crush gold because they are scared, they're incompetent, they're evil, but they can't keep it down forever. Quick thing before you go, I've written a free guide called How to Retire Before 2036. It's a full 10-year plan for anyone starting late. Get out of debt, invest properly, retire on time. Free download, link in the description.